Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to ThreatGEN, and this is our eSports style red versus blue head-to-head against Josh Mason for the red team versus Gerald Auger, PhD, for the blue team. Coming up, my co-host and I are going to be discussing this. Let's go. Simon, you need to turn your audio off there. What's up, everybody? Hey, this is Clint with ThreatGEN and Simon with Security Live. You there, Simon?
There. What's up, everybody? Hey,
maybe the echo's on my side. Should I put my headphones on? All right, let's do that.
I just have mine muted, so I think it might be yours, Clint.
Maybe the echo's on my side. Should I put my headphones on?
Testing. Can you hear me now?
All right, let's do that.
I just have mine, so I think it might be yours, Clint.
Maybe the echo's on my side. Should I put my headphones on?
Testing. Can you hear me now?
All right, let's do that.
So I think it might be yours, Clint.
How's this, everybody?
maybe the echo's on my side.
Nope, I think it's yours, Simon. I've got my headphones on, and I've got. Sorry, everybody. We're getting on it. We're getting on it. Okay. All right. So Simon had to go take care of his looping audio. I put my headphones on just to make sure. So what we're going to be talking about in this first 10 minutes or so here at the bottom of the hour, we actually have our first debut maiden voyage of the red versus blue esports broadcast of the head-to-head. We've already had a head-to-head battle against myself and Jerry, and I lost. And so I'm not necessarily sad about that or disgruntled or I don't hold a vendetta, but we'll see. But anyway, today it's all about Jerry, our reigning champion, against Josh Mason. So that's going to start at the bottom of the hour, actually about 6.5 minutes from now. And as soon as Simon gets back, we will be doing a sportscast style broadcast here, where we're going to be able to show both screens back and forth as they take their turns. And Simon and I are going to discuss it and talk about it, do play-by-play and color commentary. And then if you want to watch Jerry's stream, I think we might actually have that here, but I can post the link here in just a minute. So Jerry's stream, if you just want to watch the blue team, I'll create that here in just a second. So the blue team, you can watch Jerry's stream there. And if you want to watch the red team side, you'll be able to see that right here. So this is Josh's stream on the red team side. Or you can just stay tuned here and you'll see we'll be discussing both sides. All right. So let me get all this situated, and we can actually see here. And all right, here we go. So if I go switch over to here, we can see the countdown there at 5 minutes. That's Josh's side. And then this is Jerry's side on the blue team. So as soon as they all start, we'll be and switch back and forth. And I'll make sure you won't be able to hear their audio from here. But so you've got Gerald Auger, who many of you know, who is the blue team CISO extraordinaire, and Josh is the red team extraordinaire. And so we already have some stuff going on here. Let me go ahead and bring in Simon again.
Let's try that again. Can you hear me this time?
Yeah, this sounds good with no echo.
I've no idea what happened there. Apologies for that, and welcome everyone. Great to be here.
So yeah, we have so we already have some people rooting for rooting for red team. That's good because so far I was hearing that a lot of people were only rooting for blue team. So we've got
That's true. Thanks, Craig. Appreciate that. I saw
right.
in the InfoSec Live community earlier, I think we had 10 for blue and none for red. So it's nice to see some support there. I'm going to have to root for Josh myself being a red. So sorry, Jerry.
So, all right. I mean, so other than who you're rooting for, any predictions here?
It's difficult. I've played the game a lot myself and I've had mixed results, but then I'm not an expert. And it's interesting because both of them are. And I think it's going to be really tough. And I think it's going to be too tight to call. And I'm not prepared to put my neck on the block to call a winner. What about you, Clint? What do you think?
I think Jerry's going to win only because it's probably going to be hard for Josh. Josh is newer to the game. So while he knows what he's doing on the red team, I don't know if he knows and understands the game mechanics well enough yet, whereas Jerry's been playing it more. So that's why I'm just kind of predicting Jerry will
Who gets to choose? Who gets to choose the environment, Clint? Who chose that?
Hold on real quick. I'm not seeing. Jerry says that he's live. I'm not seeing it just yet. Hold on. We're live here. Josh is live. Hold on. We're just getting some technicalities worked out. See that Jerry is live. I don't know. Maybe a delay yet. There it is.
I'll use this to have a refreshment.
Yep. Okay, there we go. So, all right, let's go ahead and go into our play view. So Jerry's going live here in 14 seconds, 15 seconds. Josh is a little further behind. Let me make sure I refresh this. Oh no, that's fine.
Well, it gives us a bit of time, Clint. We've had Craig's jumped in with a question. If we've got time to cover that now about explaining the rules. So for those who haven't seen this before,
yeah. So what we're gonna see here is a turn-based. It's a turn, and Jerry, we're overlaying on Jerry, but that's okay. So this is a turn-based strategy game where Jerry's going to be the blue team or a network. The red team is Josh. And the way this works is I'll be switching back and forth. So they're each explaining their side. We're not going to hear their audio, but they're talking to each other. They're getting set up. So Jerry is going to, if you've never seen red versus blue before, you'll see it unfold here. It's a cybersecurity simulation. And Jerry will take each turn taking actions to set up his cybersecurity defense. And on the red team side, Josh's turns, he will take turns trying to take actions that are they're literally simulated actions for the red team to try to either take down Jerry's control system, hack the network, basically cause Jerry's blue team efforts to fail, such as the win conditions for red team are cause the blue team's ICS to fail, the industrial control systems to fail or damage those, or reduce their profit and loss down to in the red for 5 consecutive turns. The way the blue team can win is outlast the red team for the total amount of turns, which I believe is 50. I'm not 100% certain on that. It depends on how he has it set up in his settings. And then the other way the blue team can win is with a threat intelligence win. So that is, he collects enough threat intelligence on the red team in order to get the red team shut down. So those are the 4 win conditions, 2 on each side. And again, it's just a turn-based game. So here we have Jerry setting up. So if you go over here, you'll see that Josh is already waiting. So Jerry is setting up. This is his default settings. Well, he went with the default settings. So here it is. We're just literally waiting on Jerry to start the game here. And there we are. Here we are. They're off. So Jerry's he's got an opportunity to choose now which environment he wants to play in. He's chose
Do
to
you think do
manufacture.
you think he's done that for any strategic reason, Clint? The one he's gone for, does he know that better?
I think he knows the manufacturing plant better because he's played that more often, from what I can tell. However, it gives him a disadvantage because he has less assets, and so it gives the red team the advantage of having less assets to traverse.
The
All right.
whole cyberhuman initiative have made a good point as well about the playing field being level because neither have actually worked intimately in OT. So I suppose that is a bit of a leveler. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah. So, all right. So he's starting here. These are the actions that he can take. There are several different ways in the game that he can actually play actions. There's 3 different areas he can choose his actions from. He's choosing to go with the oh, he just closed out his browser. He's choosing in so Josh needs to go full screen. He's trying to figure out how to go full screen.
Well,
Oh, there
while
he
they're
is.
doing that, Clint, there's
There
a
he is.
question come in from Alex Goodwin. So the blue team managing an own goal on their ICS process is more of a lose condition than a win condition. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. That is correct. Yeah, so the blue team can in fact damage their own ICS. Um, and did they
Well, what's
already
going
get?
on here?
Oh, it's Josh's turn. Okay, so Josh is so basically Jerry ran out of turn. Jerry ran out of out of time talking. So let's look and see what Josh is doing. So, um, uh, in fact, on the back channel, we have Jerry asking Josh to skip his turn because Jerry didn't get to do anything. Um, so all right. So so we got a little bit of confusion going on to start right out of the gate. And this just probably there you okay, now it's Jerry's turn. Okay. So he was talking too much, didn't get a chance. And his timer is also about to run out again.
Talk us through this screen quickly, Clint. What are we seeing here?
Yeah, so this is the network. This is Jerry's network. This is his blue team. And real quick, hold on, real quick. We got before I answer those questions, it looks like on the back end, they're confusing each other. Okay, yeah. Basically, Josh is just working through technical issues on so is it
Oh,
Josh's
hey,
turn now?
Brett.
Yeah.
Nice to see you in there, Brett. Brett's
Okay.
answered a question, actually. Is the PNL bug resolved this playthrough? He's asked Clint.
Which exactly which P&L bug? We have resolved all the PN well, we've resolved okay, let's go back to Jerry. I mean Jerry real quick. So we've resolved P&L bugs, but the assets are all still flat values.
Okay.
All right,
Good to
so
see you,
Jerry's
Brett.
choosing. All right, so they looks like they got their issues worked out. It looks like okay, they have their issues worked out. I'm just double checking this. I think Jerry has his time set too quick. I think that might be the issue. So he's installed his firewall. I didn't get to see what actions he's taken yet. It looks like it is now. I, I think they messed up. I think they're only giving each other 30 seconds per turn.
Yeah, it looks
Or
that way.
something like that, or 40 seconds per turn. All right, so he's done his open source intelligence. Now he's performing research, but he doesn't look like he's doing any type of host scanning or anything like that yet. So going over to Jerry. All right, so Jerry is talking about how he's going to use the NIST cybersecurity framework in order to achieve his objectives. But the problem there is his problem, and what I'm seeing is that he only has like 40 seconds. Yeah. Let me hold on. Okay. So yeah, I don't know why he only set 40 seconds per turn. That might be a mistake. Makes it hard to commentate. I can tell you right now. So it's currently his turn. He's gonna lose time again. This is gonna provide them no time. And that was Jerry's decision. It was either his decision or his mistake to set up the game. Blue team has the ability to set up the time and set up the rules. So I don't know if Jerry did that on purpose or did that on accident, but it's actually making it difficult to keep a track what they're doing. So I can tell you right now, it looks like he's doing a lot of research to improve. So Josh is doing a lot of research to improve his skills on the attacks. that he plans on performing. So he performed a lot of research to do that, and it looks like he's setting up for to creating malicious USBs. If I had to guess right now, it looks like Josh is getting set up to take malicious USBs on site. Whereas,
I saw he just did 2 host scans as well while we were
okay,
chatting there.
okay, all right, yeah. So I missed that. So Jerry now, I don't know exactly. Let's take a look and let's see where Jerry is trying to set up his defense. I feel like if he's trying to use the NIST cybersecurity framework to set up defense, then if he's on one hand, it's kind of cool because we get to see if his strategy works. On the other hand, we're going to see if the NIST cybersecurity framework stands up to Josh's attacks. So that's going to be interesting to see. So here's Josh. It's his turn now. He's kind of going through the menu. These are his notifications to let him know what all is set up. It looks like he's prepared network evasion. So his network evasion will take effect on his very next attack. So he's got these 2 hosts that he found that he's already port scanned them. So he knows basically one's a network device and one's it looks like a Windows device. And so he's also performing physical recon, which is going to enable him to go on site. Now, I don't know what his strategy is. He's preparing for both. He's preparing to go on site, but he's also preparing to perform a network attack. So I don't know what strategy he's going with yet. Jerry has installed his gateway firewall and his policies and procedures. So he's really setting up, number one, obviously you set up a firewall right out of the gate. And so now Jerry is kind of planning the basic security with his policies and procedures in place. Looks like he's considering his asset inventory, which is going to be necessary to start finding vulnerabilities.
I see from the chat, Clint, just keeping an eye on that. It looks like Josh made the rules. So he's put himself under that time pressure, which could be an advantage for him as the red team.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So we're back to Josh's turn. So Josh is the one that made the rules. Wow. So he put the pressure on Jerry. He thinks he can move faster than Jerry. Whoever hosts makes the rules. So, all right. So he's looking for vulnerabilities. He's done service scans on those 2 hosts that he found now, and now he's doing he's looking for public vulnerability. So it looks like he's going on a direct attack, which looks like that's the gateway firewall as well as the a remote user. He's passed his turn now to Jerry.
So in real life, Clint, just giving people some context, what kind of tools would he be using to do that?
Which one? So Josh?
Yes.
He would be using things like Nmap or public or vulnerability to search for vulnerabilities. He'd be doing things like searching like the NIST vulnerability database or CERT vulnerability databases and things like that. Maybe to be using Metasploit for kind of an all-in-one combined attack tool set. All right, so he's passed his turn now to Josh. So Josh, pardon me, allergies. Josh is there. He goes. He's going in for an attack. He's using incorrect access control.
He's not hanging about. He hasn't got much skill in that,
Oh,
though, has he?
he's using command injection to attack the firewall, I think, but he's not going to be able to attack. He doesn't have enough resources to attack, I don't think. Maybe so. I don't know. We'll see.
Has he got the skill set for it as well? It looked like when he did those attack moves that he had no skills in those areas.
Yeah. He was choosing vulnerabilities that he had no extra skill in, so they're just flat.
Yeah.
So here on Jerry's turn, Jerry's already segmented his network. So now if Josh does get in on the perimeter, he's got a long way to traverse to get to the industrial control systems, which means he's going to have to probably go for a P&L strategy or P&L victory win, get his profit and loss into the red. You can see that up there at the see this red here?
Yeah.
This is a profit and loss meter. So if this profit and loss meter gets down into the red for 5 consecutive turns, Josh will win. If this threat intelligence meter gets up to 100%, Jerry will win. It is Josh's turn. Let's switch over. So kind of miss what he's doing.
He's still creating those malicious USBs by the look of it. He's going to go and drop some of those.
Yeah. So this icon up here, it tells you that he has a network evasion attack prepared for his next attack. And he does not have his malicious USB created yet. Jerry created his asset inventory, which means now he's preparing to go in for vulnerability scanning. So there is a new password attack mechanic in version 1.9, which is they're using, which is what they're using it. I don't know that any of them have it figured out yet, which means you can do direct password attacks now. You don't have to wait to see the password, a weak password vulnerability show up in your uh, attack. There, he's still looking. He's going to run out of time. He ran out of time. Looks like Josh's strategy might actually be working a little bit.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, so he's going to go for this attack now. He has all of his resources up there, so he's going to go for this attack. Find public vulnerabilities failed. How did that fail? There may have been he may have, I think because he's already there may be no known public vulnerabilities available on those assets. I've rarely seen looking for public vulnerabilities fail. I think he's already passed his turn.
I see.
Yeah,
I see. Jess is watching all 3 streams at once. How are you doing that, Jess? It's hard enough concentrating from where I'm sitting.
Yeah. This
It's,
40
you
second.
know what the thing? I think the fast paced thing's working. I know it's hard for you to commentate on, but it does keep you engaged, doesn't it? And I feel like Jerry's sweating a little bit. Perhaps I can see him beading on his forehead.
I'm not sure about that. I think Jerry feels pretty confident, even with the 40 seconds. You know, my concern is Josh just had a tough of Josh just had a little bit of a tough break, with this not finding any public vulnerabilities. It's very rare to not find public vulnerabilities on an asset. And that was a tough break for him, which means in order to find vulnerabilities, okay, he's already passed this, right? I didn't get to see what he did. In order to find vulnerabilities on those 2 assets, he's going to have to do reverse engineering or fuzzing to find some 0 days. That was a really tough break. All right, so he's got his network segmented. He's got a SIM, but he hasn't. So in a SIM doesn't work unless you also have sensors out there. So Jerry has a SIM, but he doesn't have any sensors. Now he's taking the route to do more hardening. So he's hardening his RDP just in case Josh compromises like a terminal server with RDP access into things. So that's smart. And he's going for he was taking a look at his ICS options. So if he wants to start securing or doing assessments on ICS devices, he has to do things like set up the proper ICS procedures or get vendor certification before patching so he doesn't damage his own ICS.
Okay, looks like Josh has recruited some hackers, but something failed there. I didn't see what it was. Just a quick hello to everyone in the chat. Pamela, nice to see you here. Everyone else, nice to see you. If you've got any questions or anything you're not sure about, if you drop them in the chat, I'll keep my eyes peeled and get Clint to answer them. What's going on here, Clint? Have you seen?
Well, he's not he's having some bad luck with stuff failing. And I didn't see what the other thing is what failed. And again, he's passed his turn. We'll see if we can catch his turn getting passed to him sooner, so we can, when he checks his notifications, we can see what it is that was failing. So right now, looks like Jerry is deploying USB security on all of his critical assets. I think he's expecting. Oh no, he's doing endpoint protection. So he's doing a vulnerability assessment this turn, and he's deploying endpoint protection or endpoint detection, which is basically his host-based intrusion detection system. So he'll be able to see if anything's been compromised. I still didn't see. Notice there's a computer that's not visible now that was there before. That's a remote user. That remote user has logged off, so now Josh doesn't have access to it.
The beauty of working from home, Clint. That is.
Oh, by the way, just real quick. So he has found vulnerabilities. I was incorrect. So this red shield here, that red shield means that he's not only found a vulnerability on that firewall, it means that it's a vulnerability that he has some research performed on already. The reason the vulnerability failed, looking for public vulnerabilities failed, is because there were no further public vulnerabilities to be found on the assets that he knows about. So he's going for another attack here, or he wants to, but he doesn't have resources. So I think he's using the attack interface to see what vulnerabilities he needs to research to give him the best chance of attacking that firewall. So he's attacking the perimeter right now. If I were, obviously he doesn't know what I know on Jerry's side, but I think Jerry's not focusing on physical security. So right now, the best chance that Josh has is to go in physical. Take advantage of dropping all of those take advantage of dropping those malicious USBs that he's creating, go physically on site because Jerry's not focusing on physical security. And I think the reason he's doing that is because he knows Josh. He
Yeah.
thinks he feels confident that Josh is going to be going for a cyber network attack and not physical. So he's playing poker. He's doing that because he knows Josh, and we just missed an entire turn by Josh. But that's because Josh. Well, that
He's so quick.
Josh,
He's waiting.
yeah, well, he has no resources, right? So if you look at him, he has no resources here. So he just passed his turn directly. Jerry has no resources either. So I don't know what Jerry's doing. I think he's just kind of talking to people or whatever, but he has no resources either. So he can't play anything either. I think he's just strategizing and talking to his viewers.
Okay,
So,
well, while he's doing that, quick couple of shout outs. Kerry, thanks for joining. Sonny, my 17-year-old son, hello, thanks for joining.
oh,
Hope you're finding it
awesome.
interesting. Sonny's doing technology levels at the moment, part of which is obviously cybersecurity. So this is pretty interesting to him. Right,
All
let's
right.
see what's happening now. Has he got
Yeah.
resources? Yes, he has.
Yeah, so that remote user is back, and it looks like he was checking to see what vulnerabilities he had. What's interesting about if he chooses to attack that remote user, number one, the remote user is very elusive, so sometimes it's hard to keep track of it because it'll log in and log off, and you may not have access to it whenever you want to attack it or use it. But if you do compromise that remote user, anytime that remote user is logged in, that's an attack vector, a separate attack vector into the network. So, for example, if you're choosing a P&L victory, you decide to deny the firewall and cut all of their network access off. Well, the VPN is if they have that installed, which Jerry does not. The VPN would be separate access into the network. So, a lot of players choose to attack remote users or other alternative attack vectors with combined with the P&L victory. Now, what Jerry's doing here, he's already done his vulnerability research, and now he's already doing system hardening and patching and all that stuff like that.
It looks like he's got an awful lot to do.
Yeah, so I'm reading this. I'm just kind of reading different. Uh, if you'll do me a favor, Simon, anytime we have some chat messages that you think we need to highlight or answer or whatever, let me know because they're moving at such a fast pace here. I'm
Yeah, no,
kind
I
of
have.
focused
Don't
on what
worry,
they're doing here.
I've got my beady eyes on them. I have called out a few. The only problem, I can't actually respond to the chat on the
Yeah,
chat thing, so I
next
don't
time
want to
we'll have to make
interrupt
sure
you
to
too
give you
much.
admin
Don't forget
access.
that.
Okay, he's passed his turn. We'll see what he's setting up for. So Josh is right now. We're kind of in this calm before the storm. Josh he's still preparing for the perimeter attack. He wants to attack the perimeter and work and wind his way through the network. Jerry is following proper procedures. He's doing what a CISO would do and shaking his finger. But you can't see it because I'm covering you up, but I can see it
Do
on my
you know?
screen.
Do you know what he's not doing, Clint? He's not thinking like a criminal. Josh is.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. So he's going through and he's doing his best practices. He's done his vulnerability assessments. He's doing hardening and patching and all of that stuff. And now he's finally got his backup process started. So in this game, people overlook the backup process in creating restore points because when you have an incident in this game, the quickest, easiest, fastest, and cheapest way is to create create the backup process. Oh, did he already pass his turn? Yeah, it's already
Yeah.
Jerry's turn again. To create the backup process, why did he pass his turn? I'm guessing he had no resources again. So he's doing a lot of stuff. He's doing a lot of research. He's trying to maximize his chances. But going back to the backup process, it's free every turn. You can create restore points for every asset for free every turn. So if you get compromised, you just restore back to that compromise point. Now you have to be careful about doing that because you want to make sure that you don't restore to a compromised state. So
Yeah, very true. Let me just jump in quickly, Clint. We've got a
yep.
couple of things in the chat. Craig Laporte has put, would you guys say the game is a good way to learn or more of a reinforcement tool? My 17-year-old's already started playing it and he's loving it. So I think it's both. Clint, what would you say about that?
Yeah, I would say that sorry, back over to Jerry. Josh still has no resources. He's got a lot of stuff going on in his queue. So the whole reason that we built this tool was to reinforce cybersecurity concepts that you're learning in a class or something like that. And so all these concepts that you're learning, it puts them all together into a cohesive big picture for you, so you can see how it really works all together. And in a way that you don't have to be technical. So you can use it to learn as well. You don't have to be technical. That's the reason we built it to be higher level, so that any beginner can come in and start to learn this. My wife knows nothing about cybersecurity, and she played for 2 hours and then was talking to me like a CISO, asking questions about,
And also, Clint, what you're not seeing here is the fact, because these guys are going through it so quickly, everywhere there's an information icon. So if you're looking at the different
right.
attack methods or enumeration methods, you get to do an information hover, and you can go through to a page that kind of explains it all to you as well, which is really, really good. Rene, I see you
Exactly.
jumping in there. Thanks ever so much for the shout out. Do you know what? I'm having loads of fun, and I may be coming to San Francisco in 3 weeks and then to Texas. And if I do, I'm hoping to catch up with you, sir.
So what we saw there is Josh. Well, the reason, okay, Jerry's now going to be implementing intrusion detection sensors. That's what he's selected. He's looking for an area to install the intrusion detection system. And what we saw with Josh's previous screen is that, and we don't really see what he's doing over. We can see there's the descriptions that Simon was talking about. Josh is using his time when it's not his turn to go research and read about the game descriptions. And we saw that Josh was spending a significant amount of time doing research to maximize his chances. That's why he had no resources. If we look right there, we'll come back next turn, but Jerry already has 3% of threat intelligence. I'm not sure why. I think I might have missed something. Oh, so he's going for a password attack and it failed, which means that there were no weak passwords. Jerry, I think, has already implemented strong password enforcement. So he's already passed.
I see in the chat that Pamela is your first time watching this. I hope you're enjoying it. And Alex Goodwin's, I think you, Aaron, and all have succeeded admirably on the educate newbie angle. And I completely agree. I think, we've got loads of great gamification things out there for learning technical processes like Hack the Box and Try Hack Me and Let's Defend, lots of other ones. But this brings all that together and gives you the concept as well, gives you the overview of all the processes, which is super important.
Yeah, well, thanks for the compliment, Alex. Alex is one of our. I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning this, but he's one of our beta tester extraordinaires out there, really helping us. So Alex has been a part of this success significantly. So thank you, Alex.
We've got an Archon in the chat as well, who says they've got thousands of hours on this game too. So,
yep. So that would be also one of our testing and support people. And actually, I'm going to dox him here. Archon is one of the founders of ThreatGEN. I'm just going to go ahead and dox him here, and maybe he'll get mad at me for saying that. All right, so that's what we do here in shoutcasting is we make people mad at us in an entertaining way. So
I'll tell you what, though, Alex has also said that this has got him into doing CTFs, and I think that's a valid point, isn't it? Because it
really
okay. Perspective.
That is fantastic, because let me tell you, CTFs are often intimidating for the people that are not as technical. And I think if this can be a less technical means to introduce you into cybersecurity and to give you the confidence to go do more technical things like CTFs, that's exactly the use case.
And Rene, who's a good friend of mine in Texas, has said good gamification preparation in network defense for Sec Plus. And I think that's another very good point. Thanks for jumping in, Rene.
Let me point something out here. All right, so what's happening is he has his intrusion detection system up, and you can't see it because his menu's in the way, but there's a red flashing icon there. His intrusion detection system has picked up that Josh is trying to attack him. Every single time the blue team detects something small or large, it affects this threat intelligence meter to some degree. Now, if he starts to make a focused effort on performing forensics analysis on the discoveries, he can increase that threat intelligence meter even faster. So I miss what actions that he's taking, but we'll see. All right, look at this. So apparently we missed something. I think, okay, Josh has not only it was the remote user. So he's taking control of this remote user. He's already pivoted into a host scan, which is why he sees more of these. He's now port scanning. So Josh has now found his way in through a remote user. So now this is going to start getting good. But Jerry knows it. Jerry has detected him. If you remember, Oh, sorry, he's already passed his turn. Josh is too quick.
He is quick.
So, Jerry, remember,
the other thing is, Clint, with it being a remote user, is that it could drop out at any time as well.
exactly. So Josh can lose his access and not be able to pivot if that remote user drops offline, which happens often. So, but Jerry detected it. Jerry's not detecting that it's compromised because he hasn't implemented the endpoint detection, but he did see that it was targeted at least through his network intrusion detection system. So he's aware of it and he's hardening appropriately. If I know Jerry, he's going to be creating a bubble of protection around that device that he thinks is compromised, or that he thinks is possibly compromised, but he knows has been targeted for a fact.
Oh,
All right.
apparently, Jerry's run out of money.
Oh, I didn't see that. We'll go back and look
Yeah.
at that here in a minute. Look at this. Josh is on a rampage. He's on a forced
Go on,
march.
Josh. Another quick one. Hey guys, just curious if this is available on Steam. I think it is, isn't it, Clint?
It is available on Steam. They're playing the pro version right now, but it is available for $15 on Steam. We run 50% discounts every 6 weeks.
Can you drop, because I can't drop any links, could you drop the links in for the ThreatGEN portal for people to have a look also for the Steam one as well?
I don't have the Steam one up. Hold on. Yeah, I could do this one. So you can see that this game is so the pro version and more information about this is available at threatgen.com. If I'll go and get the Steam for the Steam version, just search for ThreatGEN Red versus Blue, or just search for ThreatGEN on Steam. It's the only game of its name. It'll be very easy to find.
Yeah, I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link in to buy the game, the monthly subscription, in the InfoSec Live YouTube channel chat as well. I'll try and do that now.
Oh yeah, I forgot. So we needed that link. Drop that into the private chat, Simon.
Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to find it. Multitasking is not my skill, as a lot of people watching will tell you.
Yeah. Man, look at this. Josh is on a rampage. He has already got everything enumerated, and look, he has vulnerabilities that he's discovered on those devices. He's pressing forward. I don't think that Jerry has any clue that Josh is already in his network.
So he must have spotted something else then. It can't have been this attack that he saw.
Well, he saw that remote user had been targeted, but because he doesn't have endpoint detection installed, Jerry doesn't know that thing is compromised. I think Jerry thinks he's a little safe right now. All right, he's passed his turn. Let's see. Jerry got his budget. If you see here, so Jerry requested budget, and there's that wiki link again, so that it shows you how things are used in game and also the real world descriptions. Okay, he's got endpoint. Now Jerry's freaking out. Looking. So he has endpoint detection installed on the remote user. He now knows that remote user is compromised. He's going to have to go. He has not gone into incident response mode yet. Look, he's got his hand on his head. He's freaking out a little bit. So Jerry is now feeling the stress, and he's going to have to go into incident response mode to respond to that. Josh doesn't know he's been spotted because his access has not been. He has to. Now, here's the thing. If Josh compromises another host and starts to pivot forward, but that remote user gets it logs out, or if Jerry cleans that pivot, Josh will lose that pivot and lose access to everything else. Luckily for Josh.
What did he do then?
I missed it.
Okay. Yeah, I did.
Look at Josh. Look at Josh looks nervous too. All right. So here we are.
I'll tell you what I've noticed as well, Clint, is that they've gone for 75 turns rather than 50. So it might be quicker goes, but we've still got a game.
Yeah, but that's okay. So, all right. So Jerry got his budget. Jerry lost money. He requested budget. He got his budget approved. And lucky for Josh, though, is that he got the compromise after Jerry segmented his network. So other than cleaning the assets, Josh is not going to lose access to anything. And looks like he's just
patching. Cover his tracks as well while he's in there.
Can he do what?
Cover his tracks.
Yes, but it's too late because he's already been found out. But he doesn't know that. But anytime you try to cover your tracks, after you've already been discovered, or if you try to cover your tracks.
Access control attack, I think he's going for.
Looks like for the SIM. Looks like he's going to go attack the SIM. No, yeah, he is. I didn't see which one. Maybe the Active Directory server.
He's researching access control still.
He's still no. He's attacking the firewall again. He knows that remote user can drop out at any time. So he's looking for an alternative route into the network if that's the case.
That's a
Now,
good point, Alex. Alex said, doesn't covering tracks require Josh to have researched persistence? That's a
yes,
good
and he
point.
may have already done that. I haven't seen. He may have already researched persistence. So Jerry still hasn't gone into incident response mode to clean that remote user. And I think that his reasoning, and I haven't heard his commentary, but I think the reason why is because he thinks it's a remote user and he thinks it's cordoned off here and has limited access. But what he hasn't seen is that, and look at this, Josh has just compromised a firewall. Now, that's not the perimeter firewall. That's the server firewall. That's the firewall that separates the users and the server network. So if the remote user logs out or gets cleaned, then he can still lose access to everything. And Jerry detected it. Jerry had endpoint detection and the right intrusion detection system on the network. So not only did Jerry see the attack, Jerry knows that particular firewall is compromised. And it's like I said, it's the firewall that separates the user network and the server network. So he knows about that. So he is on to Josh. Now, here's the problem for Josh. Josh is still quite a ways away from the industrial control system network, and he's not doing anything so far that I can see that would contribute to a P&L victory because he's not installing ransomware. He's not installing destructive malware on the servers he has control of. Josh went to go take a potty break or something. There he is. All right. Let's see what he does. He's got a lot of access and he's moving through the network, but it's not safe for him because Jerry's onto him and he doesn't have any alternative routes into the network. As soon as that remote user gets cleaned or drops off the network, he's going to lose all his pivots. I think Josh has a false sense of security right now, in my opinion.
It's hard. It's hard though to see from his point of view. He's not aware of the whole picture, is he?
Yeah. And so check this out. Jerry also has 22% threat intelligence score because he's detecting these things. So every time something gets detected, and it's hard to follow. They're moving so fast. It's hard to follow all of their actions, but it's quite possible Jerry is also doing forensics gathering every time he finds a compromise, which is increasing the threat intelligence score. So it's still all right. So it's Josh's turn.
He's
Yeah,
got
he's
7 resources.
you can see both the mistakes are both made. So Jerry thinks because it's a remote user, that remote user is cordoned off, and that he's not worried about that remote user because it's a remote user. He thinks it's cordoned off. But Josh is completely using that as a pivot to just literally move laterally anywhere on the network that he wants. And so he's given Josh free reign. Josh is completely unaware that how fragile that foothold is. This has turned into a really good chess match. And he still has not gone in. Oh, he is now in incident response mode. I missed that. So he is in incident response mode, and I did not see what actions he was taking to resolve this.
I agree with you, Alex. A false sense of security, indeed. It's done that to me a few occasions as well. I'll be honest, I've only beat this system once, and I've played it quite a few times. It shows you my skill level.
Oh, Simon, sorry. Earlier I said Cybersecurity Live. It's InfoSec Live. That I missaid the channel.
Cyber info, potato, doesn't matter.
He's on Spaghetti Live.
Spaghetti Live, yeah. Macaroni Live today.
All right, this is so interesting to me. Josh has pretty much complete reign now over 2 separate networks. It looks like he has control over the server network and over the DMZ network, and he has complete control over it, and he's just lost it. So Jerry just cleaned the firewall that Josh was on, and I don't know that I don't know that Jerry actually cleaned the remote user, but that remote user just logged off. So Josh just lost his pivot one way or
You
another.
see, this is how quickly it can change. Just as Archon dropped in the chat that Josh can win in 3 or 4 turns, it's just flipped on his head, maybe.
Yeah, and so here, because he just lost his pivot. Now, here's what's interesting. I don't know that Jerry actually had a chance to clean that pivot because the
Pivot
user may have
removed.
logged off. Yep, see, it said pivot
Yeah.
removed. So he knows he
Yeah.
just lost. He knows he just lost it. Look at him. You can't. The users can't see Josh's reaction, but Josh was going. So he knows he lost that pivot. What I was saying was that because the remote user logged off, it's quite possible that that the remote user logged off before Jerry was able to clean.
And Craig, I see you just asked a question about Steam. It is available on Steam. Yes.
Okay.
Is
See,
it-
look, I don't know if Jerry, well, two things happen here. Number one, I don't know if Jerry tried to clean that remote user, but because it logged off, it didn't work, or he didn't try to clean it. Now he sees that Josh has compromised the SIM. Again, you know, since the remote user is there, here's what's interesting. The remote user is back. So Josh just saw a message that he lost his pivot. He may not know that that pivot is back unless he tries something again.
Has he done what many of us do, and he's gone down that rabbit hole? And as Archon just said, what's happened to the physical route? You know, he seems to have forgotten about that for now.
Yeah,
He?
and from what I can tell, Josh Jerry is not doing any focus whatsoever. Oh, he's trying to install disruptive malware. He's going for P&L victory now. He's trying to install disruptive malware, and it failed because I think Jerry has already done enough hardening on the systems that he's trying. So, and he's doing it on the remote user, it looks like, possibly the SIM server. So,
I think going back to what you said earlier, Clint, I think that there is an advantage here for the blue team from a psychology point of view. Jerry knows Josh very well, and
yeah.
he knows probably what methods he's going to use to attack. Whereas in a real life or against the AI situation, you wouldn't have that advantage, would you?
Yeah. And so here's what's interesting about the physical part is that, number one, he thought Josh was not going to go physical, and he was right. Number two, he's seeing evidence that Josh is staying cyber. Josh needs to use that to his advantage right now. He needs to use all of this network attack as a decoy to his advantage and now make a beeline sprint for the physical, because Jerry has focused nothing on physical security as far as I can tell. Nope, he does. Right there, he does have the physical surveillance cameras installed. Yeah. So now that doesn't mean it's impossible to do a physical attack. It just means it's harder to traverse through the physical network without being detected.
Okay, he's got some research pending still.
Physical site, I mean. Was he doing physical research?
No, I said he's got some still pending. I didn't see physical research. I think it was more for the vulnerabilities that he's spotted. He's trying to skill up on those.
He's still trying to traverse through the network. Now, what he just discovered is that if you look here, that remote user's back. So he just discovered that he is still able to. He got his pivot back.
Right.
Now, since I can't hear his commentary, I'm wondering whether or not he has already put 2 and 2 together, and that his remote user pivot is going to be Jerry's advertising his simplycyber.io on his channel, which is awesome. He's already moved on to his turn. All right. I don't know if Josh realized the fragility of his pivot there with the remote user, but it doesn't seem to matter because Jerry thinks he's perfectly safe. Jerry doesn't think.
I think he's just
Josh has a foothold.
Gone for a ransomware install again.
Yep, he's trying the ransomware. It's really hard if Jerry has already hardened those systems. Successfully installing ransomware and disruptive malware is going to be really hard.
And he's skilled up on evasion as well. He just did a little bit of evasion for a couple of his points there, which was a good move, perhaps.
Yeah, which means you're trying to be more silent, which is good. If you just run through, whether it's in this game or in real life, if you just make a beeline running through, making all this noise, attacking stuff, you're going to lose the threat intelligence.
It's like doing a really noisy Nmap scan, isn't it, from the start, where you just get kicked out.
Okay, so here's something I missed. So number one, Jerry is 52% to a threat intelligence victory. Josh absolutely needs to be quiet. Number two, his P&L is going down. So we must have missed that just somewhere Josh has installed disruptive malware on something somewhere. Oh, okay. I'm really curious. So
He's skilled up on access control.
it looks like that Josh is now going for a P&L victory. He's moving that needle. However, he needs to be quiet because he's already at 52%. Oh, he already passed his turn. So look at this. That needle's going down, but he's already at, Jerry's already got him 52% on that threat intelligence meter. So he needs to be quiet. I agree with Archon that he needs to run to physical.
Where does Jerry need to get to on that meter for him to win?
100%.
Okay.
So Josh needs to get the P&L down to the red for 5 consecutive turns. And he's only got one thing compromised, which means he's probably got disruptive malware installed on there, and it's starting to take its toll on the production, which means that remote user must have been really one important user, or he installed it back whenever he took control of some of these more important things. And
oh, here we go. Access control, fully skilled up. Is there anything you can do?
He makes his access control attacks more effective. Here's what I'm. Look at this. So this P&L meter. Oh, he's detected an attack back on that server. Josh needs to use these attacks as decoys now and just make a beeline to the physical. But this P&L meter is not moving up. It's not recovering upward, which tells me that Josh has installed disruptive malware on this remote user. And because if he had disruptive malware installed somewhere else and then Jerry's cleaned it, that P&L meter would start to recover in the green, and it's not. So he's got it installed on this remote user. And it just baffles my mind that Jerry thinks that he's safe with that remote user. He never cleaned it, or he maybe tried and failed, but he thinks he's safe with that compromised remote user. And Jerry's still... Okay, his turn ended. So we're back to Josh. So his attack on that firewall failed. He's going to try a password attack on it now. But I mean, look at these icons. The yellow icons mean that there's some basic vulnerabilities he's discovered. The blue icon with the fire means that he's got some significant research going on there. It's got vulnerabilities that he's already researched significantly.
Oh, he's changing location. He's changing location.
There we go.
There we are. Look.
If he's changing location, this could be an interesting turn of events. So a quick question is...
yeah, good question, Roy.
The pace of this match...
The answer is no. When I play this game, I tend to have 2 minutes per turn, not 30 seconds.
Yeah, you can adjust the time involved. They put this on themselves. But... And so, why isn't Jerry... Alex is asking, why isn't Jerry doing any threat hunting? I don't know. Because if he's not installing endpoint detection, maybe he feels secure in the fact that he's got enough endpoint detection that he doesn't need to be doing any threat hunting. I just don't understand why he feels like he's so secure with this remote user. I mean, yes, I understand that he doesn't know that's Josh's entire pivot right now, but he's naive right now to think that thing is completely cordoned off and that it's no there. And I don't know what Jerry is saying, but I think his reasoning, he probably is in there somewhere saying that, it's just a remote user. I've got him cordoned off into this bubble. And so Josh has compromised that firewall again. He's already passed his turn. And look.
Asset detected.
Interesting. Okay. So he's detected it, and he's finally cleaned that remote user. Josh has just lost his entire network strategy because it all hinged upon that one remote user.
I think he's at the fence now from the last picture, so hopefully he'll have some success that side. Just going back to...
But look at the timing of that. He made a very intuitive decision to move to the perimeter right when Jerry basically removed his pivot. Now, but the problem is Jerry might anticipate he's going to the perimeter now. So we'll see. What was the question?
Roy was saying about the fact of the pace being intense, and we covered off the fact that you can have a longer period per turn.
Yeah.
He asked about tutorials. Have you got any tutorials anywhere?
So there's a game guide.
Yeah.
There are some tutorials, videos out there on the ThreatGEN YouTube channel. Oh, look at this. That is, I think, disruptive malware. It's blue. I think that's disruptive malware. I forgot what blue means.
Let's have a look. Pilfer data, install disruptive malware. I just saw an exfiltrate data.
Oh,
Roy, quickly, on Saturdays after the Meet the Members at 8 o'clock British summertime, I'm going to start throwing up some of these games live in the community for the members to jump in and play. So maybe this Saturday, if you're free, come along and jump in and we'll spin up a game and see if we can beat the AI.
all right. Just FYI. Blue means that it was disconnected from the network. So
Okay.
he's got a so if you go back and look at this, and Jerry did he found another attack. So now I lost it. It was blue, and I guess Jerry fixed it. Jerry might have cleaned it. But if you look at what was going on here, oh, did he freeze? His stream froze.
I see Caitlin said that Joey said he thinks he's found a bug, and Pamela just said the same as well. Oh, and
Josh's entire stream just froze.
Ah.
Oh, this is unfortunate. What's going on here?
So what's he up to?
Jerry's still playing. Well, it's not a bug. It's Josh's
Josh.
entire freeze. It's yeah.
Do you want to
Josh
jump in the chat and just say something to them, Clint?
Yeah, hold on. All right.
Maybe he got arrested at the perimeter.
So I don't know what Josh is doing now. I'm gonna try to refresh this screen. Oh, maybe it was my stream.
Is it back? The counter still isn't moving down, I don't think.
It's not his turn.
Ah.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah, the stream just froze for me.
It's yeah. Thanks, Jess. Josh's stream is working on LinkedIn. It's working here now as well. Excellent. So he's installing disruptive malware or thinking about it.
All right, so Jerry. Okay, so Jerry says there's a bug in the system. I don't think there's it's a possibility, but we've been working really diligently over the past several weeks with some of the viewers here, even as bug or as beta testers, and
Yeah, well, says Archon, he does need to move deeper into the plant. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think Jerry found a bug. I think Jerry is misunderstanding. Either he's misunderstanding some of the mechanics, or he doesn't understand what Josh has there going on. So, let's see. Let me ask him.
It looks like he's doing something to me. It's running out of time, though. That's for sure. Back to Josh.
Okay, one of our beta testers is watching, and he just told me in the back chat, no, he doesn't think it's a bug. It's just Jerry doesn't know the situation, or he doesn't understand the mechanics.
It's Josh's go. Can we spin up his stream? His screen.
Yep. Sorry. All right.
Look, he was locationing again by the looks of it.
So he's still on the perimeter and hasn't been caught yet. He needs to move deeper in the plant. He does have malicious USBs.
He does.
And I think he's dropping those. In fact, look, he's pointing at it too with his.
Yeah.
So we're all talking about the fact that he has malicious USBs. He's probably planning on dropping.
He's planning to go to the corporate office, is what he's planning to do by the looks of it.
Yep. It looks like he is moving the corporate. All right, so we'll see. It's my opinion that's the wrong move. He needs to be moving towards the ICS. I don't know what he's going to do in corporate at this point. All right, so yeah, so we had a little hiccup there where Jerry thought there was a bug, and then we thought Josh froze, but now all is good. There was no bug, and Jerry is now in IR mode again. All right. So
he's in the plant. Does Archon say he's in the plant?
Nope. So Josh has moved into the corporate building.
Ah.
So Josh is physically in the corporate building. Wrong move, in my opinion. I think that he should have made a beeline to the plant, started searching for HMIs. I
He's
don't.
trying to drop a plant Trojan in.
Yeah. I don't. I don't know if this is Josh's just inexperience or not comfortable with ICS, but his best chance was to.
Oh, we've been arrested. He's been arrested.
Oh, was he? Did I miss that?
Yeah, I think he's been arrested. Karen says Jerry can't deactivate the IR for some reason as well, but I think irrespective of that,
there's a reason why he can't deactivate the IR because something is disconnected, I think.
Ah,
Oh, and he doesn't know it's disconnected, and I don't know why. So there might actually be a visual glitch there. I know that's making Jerry angry that
oh,
he can't
Alex has
deactivate
just
IR.
said that Jerry's 86% threat intel as well.
So look at this. Look at this. Jerry is 86% threat intel on Josh, but Josh has him in the orange on P&L.
Ooh.
This
How
is
long does
getting
Josh stay in jail for, Jerry? Clint?
I believe he loses 3 resources for 2 or 3 turns. I can't remember if it's 2 or
Okay.
3 turns. In fact, we've been arguing about that on the development team.
Okay. Craig has asked, how long does a match usually last? When I've played it with 50 turns, I'm typically around 30, 40 minutes if I'm reasonably quick playing against the AI. Not sure about you, Clint.
Yeah, 30 minutes on if you're playing against another player, 30 minutes to an hour. If you're playing, it just really depends on the settings and how you have it and how comfortable you are with the game.
I think you can have it as fast paced or as slow paced as you like, can't you? So I'd
Oh,
suggest longer games to start.
Josh,
Oh,
it's recovering. So Jerry removed whatever was causing the PNL issues for Jerry is now recovering, and he should be able to. So I think what's going on is that there was something that was disconnected, and you cannot deactivate IR if something is still disconnected. And let's see. Yep. So something was disconnected, and he's not seeing this, so he doesn't know what to reconnect. So I do think there's a
oh, here we
visual
go. What's
bug.
happened here? Network detection evasion succeeded. So we managed to keep out of the way there.
Yep.
He's out of
So I think Jerry's
resources
still
now.
going to win here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kerry mentions that
Yeah.
Jerry was having a problem with IR. We think it's because there was something disconnected from the network, Kerry, which impacted on that perhaps.
Yep. 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 All right. So there is a glitch. It was one of the firewalls that was disconnected, I believe.
So Josh still hasn't got any goes yet, has he? By the look of it.
Hold on just a second.
So I don't think I've been quiet for that period of time for about a week. So it's quite nice. I expect everyone else thought so too.
All
Password
right.
attack failed. Host scan succeeded.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks, Alex. It was the server firewall.
Yeah. Okay. He's got some resources back now. He's got 4 out of 7, I think. I don't know if he's got enough for that. Needs to upskill.
Okay. So yeah, I'm letting Jerry know. All right, I let Jerry know. It wasn't. It's something I had to do for the game. I normally don't want to spoil anything or give any spoilers to Jerry, but it's only fair since there's a bug causing him not being able. I told him to try to reconnect the server firewall and see if he can do that. So slight little bug there, but hopefully we can get past it. It's to Jerry's disadvantage. So if he ends up winning, then it's doesn't matter. But he is recovering. He is recovering on the P&L. So all he has to do is get this 86% up
To
further,
100.
and he'll win. And
Oh,
Josh is not being what was Josh doing? I think he was going to maybe Josh is So if Josh had re-denies that, if he actually denies it and Jerry reboots it or whatever, it might fix it. It might fix the issue for Jerry. Okay. So now he sees us disconnected.
So I'm looking to see.
Yeah, so his gray lines, all his gray lines are gray instead of green. And
Okay.
that means it looks like this switch is disconnected. So I'm not sure if
It's just that. Oh, it's gone now. Yeah, it looked like there was only one corner in. SW server, Alex says.
yeah, so I'm not sure if Josh denied that switch. It looks like Jerry disconnected the switch.
Looks like he's thinking about sniffing some network traffic. Maybe not.
Yeah. Did anybody see? Did Josh deny it or did Jerry disconnect it? Okay, well it's back now.
I don't know. Archon said it's the server switch. So.
Yeah, this little. All right, so Carrie said that Jerry is turning something off and reconnecting it. Oh, I see. He's trying to disconnect and reconnect the switch. So it was the hold on, I'm gonna tell him the server firewall, not the server switch. All right, hopefully we can get past this. It's almost it's caused a bit of a stalemate right now.
What's Josh up to now? I think it's his turn, Clint. There we go. Desperately looking around for what he can do, I think, is the answer.
Yeah, because he has an opportunity here. I mean, Jerry's pretty safe, even stuck in IR mode and not being able to do anything else. I mean, IR mode is not a bad place to be stuck because if Josh attacks anything, Jerry's already in IR mode to go back and correct it. But we'll see if he can. Let's equate this to real life, right? He can't. They have a problem. There's the firewall. There's an issue with the firewall, and the firewall's broken, and so he has all of his incident response team trying to work on that firewall. So even though it's a bug in the game, it still represents real life a little bit. And that's
absolutely.
That's what we've been saying when Jerry and I played the first time, and when we play, we kind of say like, look, the game has bugs, every now and then. It might disrupt something while you're playing, but it's funny because all those bugs can be translated to real problems that you would have in real life that still fit the context of the game. I'm not making excuses, just making it fun.
I thought that was brilliant until you ruined it with that at the end, Clint. It's true though, isn't it? And I sat here thinking the same thing. Nothing ever runs smoothly in IT. The 47 years of my life have shown me that. That's for sure.
What's really interesting is that not only so we have our volunteer beta testers that are watching this thing, Alex and some others, and then we also have we have a server chat on the back end of things on Discord, to where the players and myself and admins and support, we can all talk to each other. We have this huge support system going on. We have a huge support system going on while this game is going on. Beta testers are watching this. We have developers watching this. Right now, on the back end of our Discord chat, we have support going on throughout this entire game, to where we already have developers and beta testers all talking about the problem that's happening and working on ways to fix it and ways to get past it as a workaround in this game. So it's really cool to see how an entire group of community and support and developers have all come together to support this event. It's all official and stuff. Like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. Cody, I completely agree. Nothing ever runs smoothly in IT. It never has for me.
Look at that. He's got control of the DMZ, which means now he has an alternative foothold. So now, and I think it's Jerry's turn. We're just not seeing what's going on because he's looking at the NIST cybersecurity framework because he can't do anything. Yeah, okay, now it's Josh's turn. So now Josh has a new foothold, so he doesn't have to worry about that remote user. It also looks like, so now that he's been arrested, he's focusing back on cyber, and I think he's a little gun shy now.
He's fuzzing is what he's doing.
He's looking for zero-day vulnerabilities.
Well said, Alex. Jumping on the problem like a starving poodle setting on a pork chop. Brilliant. Yeah. I'll be interested to see if this has impacted on the meter on Jerry's end. I take it I can't see the meter on this end because of the bar at the bottom. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's gone up.
So,
Look.
so the threat intelligence score is going up because Josh is not being quiet with his attacks, and Jerry is gathering forensics on everything he discovers. And so,
Yeah.
whatever Josh did have on Jerry that was affecting his P&L is gone. It is now recovering.
He's just removed a loiterer from his network, is what the bar said when he clicked on it.
I think
No, here
Jerry
we
has
go. What's
Josh
going
on
on
the
here?
ropes. Jerry has Josh on the ropes.
Password attack. He's going for a password attack. It's desperate actions here, Josh. I hope
It
you hit
is. I think it's at this late in the game, password attacks are not going to work.
I think it's a case of what resources he had and what you can do, and it gets to that in the game when you're playing it, which again can be related to real life, because resources aren't something that just lasts forever. So I think from the blue and the red side, that's one of the things I like the most about the game is that you are restricted on what you can do at certain times because you either haven't got the skills, the team, or the resources.
Well, we've tried to keep this very realistic when we're developing it, right? I mean, obviously, we're not keeping it realistic from a command line perspective. We're keeping this a high level and not getting into the technical command line weeds for a reason, so that anybody can play and learn. But we've tried to keep all the correlations true to real life as much as possible, and we're always continuing to improve it.
I'm a little bit intrigued what's going on in the chat though. Who's DI Simon? What's his name? Because apparently Jerry's calling him. Who's that, Alex? Am I missing out here? That is true, Cody. Desperate times call for loud and desperate measures, followed by prison time.
Followed by prison time.
Oh dear.
All right. So we're in a bit of a lull here, only because really
We got a loiterer removed again. Suspicious person
yeah,
hanging
look at
around
this.
the
Look at this.
perimeter.
The loiterer was removed, so now his threat intelligence score is up to
Oh,
96%. If
he's
Josh
nearly
makes
got him.
one more mistake, if look at that, look at Jerry's basically doing this. He's saying, "I see you, I got you," to Josh. If Josh makes one more false step that contributes to the threat intelligence score, it's game over.
I think he's on the
So,
ropes now. Roy, it's a really good point. It puts you in the mindset of an attacker or a defender. I completely agree. Yeah, Archon, you're right. Jerry is going to win. I think it is looking that way.
let me do this real quick. I'm going to move myself up slowly. I feel like I'm floating. I'm gonna move up so you can see Jerry at least, and then you're there. So look at this. Look at this. So now we're all like we're
Hey, there we go.
we're the Three Stooges. All right. Can't see Josh though because you're covering up Josh.
Sorry about that.
All
Sorry,
right.
Josh.
This is this looks like this, and there it is. We called it.
He's done it.
So
well done, Jerry.
Jerry won. Does he get it? Yep. So look at Jerry. Yay! Look at Jerry. He's going. Jerry's all excited. He's won number 2.
You're gonna have to get rid of me for a minute so people can see Josh's reaction, Clint.
Okay, we'll do that. So let's go over. Yep. So he's looking at his stats, but let's see. Make sure that they don't forget to save the report. So okay, everybody's telling him save the report, save the report. I don't think Josh might not know how, but either way, I mean, you can look at the stats there. Basically, Jerry done a phenomenal job. I would say 67% of the breaches detected, but not all of them. So he did a pretty good job. Actually, looking at this, in his staff utilization was 71%. And trying to go here, Jerry's, I don't know what he's, not sure what he's looking at here, but he was moving things around. But he's doing analysis and kind of seeing what Josh had. I don't have the end game report up anymore, but let me bring you back, Simon. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah,
I think
so
people in the stream are happy with the blue win. It seems. And
yep.
Jess Bishop has asked, "Can you do a Three Stooges red versus blue?" I think we just have, but with 4 of us.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it looked like from what I saw on and by the way, for the we need to get rid of the remote location mini map on the in-game screen for those developers and beta testers that can submit bug reports that are watching. So submit that for me. There's no need for that to be there in the little. It's
I think it's
distracting.
a good point, Clint, that Archon's made about there was very little physical attacks, and I
Yeah,
didn't see any of my
yeah.
favorite,
All right,
which is
watch this. I'm
social
gonna pause
engineering.
this. All right, so I just paused the screen so we can look at this real quick. Um, so if you really look at this, and it took right about an hour, so the timing was good. But if you look at this, he's 30% on resolved issues, 67% on detections, and he's really across the board. I would say this was not Jerry's best performance, but he still got the win. And I would say that had a lot to do with the game planning. He knew that Josh was going to move in on the network attacks and was not going to what somebody said they had dogs. Oh, it was a pun. But so anyway, he knew
Yeah,
Josh was
carrying
not going to
on.
go for the physical attack. So I think what won this, even though this was not Jerry's best performance, and there was a bug that could have prevented a lot from Jerry, but the bug did not affect the outcome of the game because Jerry still won, and it was a disadvantage to Jerry. But I think all in all, when it came down to this, it was Jerry's game plan. He knew
Yeah.
Josh. He knew Josh's tendencies, and he just followed the best practices that you need to follow in cybersecurity, and that got him the victory over the red team.
Can I just pull up a message in the chat there for Roy? He's made, I think it was a flippant comment, but it's actually quite a good point, Roy. I think he said, "Are there games where it can be like a 5 reds versus 1 blue type scenario? That would be intense." Which leads me on to
I can't bring
are
that
there
up because
plans? Are there
I don't think
plans, or
that's
is it
coming through our
possible?
feed.
Sorry, say again.
That's coming through your feed. That's not coming through. I'm not seeing that in our chat. It's not
Oh, well,
coming
you're
through our
not.
feed
Okay, yeah,
here.
sorry. It's coming through the paired one. It says about having 5 reds versus 1 blue, which led me on to thinking about kind of the CTF angle for this. So, like group competitions, is that something
So
that's
we're probably not going to be. It is on our roadmap. We don't know if it's going to get into this one, but we are already working on designing a new version, not a new version, but a new edition of Red versus Blue that's going to have more real time stuff, and it has the option to be a lot more technical down in the weeds and command line stuff. So you
okay?
can really get into esports with that. Um,
Yeah,
that is a completely spin-off version of this platform, and it's currently codenamed Red versus Blue: The Next Wave.
yeah, good, very good. I'm
Okay.
looking forward to for those that don't know, I've started with a firm called Bramfit Technology Labs in the UK, and we've got a massive red team who are very, very, very much looking forward to challenging this platform soon, Clint. So I'm hoping the InfoSec live stream can go live in a few weeks with our red team as a group effort trying to beat your AI.
Oops. Sorry, I missed that. I was the guys are
You're
already
doing two,
wanting
you
to.
can't do two things at once. I can't do two
Yeah,
things at
yeah.
once
I
either.
can't listen to things at once. Say that again.
I was just saying the firm I've joined a few weeks back, Bramfit Technology Labs, are a penetration testing firm, and we've got a team of I think over 20 testers, and they're very keen to give your system a challenge. So I think over the next few weeks, if we could arrange a live stream in the InfoSec live community with some red team members trying to beat it, it could be good to get that perspective as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm gonna just go ahead and put this out there that and look, you know what? At this point, let's go ahead and do this. All right. So I'm just going to put this out there that right now our AI is very basic, and then I would say that it's not going to present a realistic challenge to as people are starting to find tendencies, and so it's not going to present a 100% realistic challenge to actual skilled teams in real life. However, what it can help with is helping you practice your existing strategy, like player versus player, team versus team. I will tell
Yeah.
you this though, next quarter we do start the design for an upgraded AI that is going to be right now it's a simple decision tree. We are upgrading it with Bayesian logic and some Bayesian theorem logic, which is the same type of logic and machine learning type logic that they use for chess AI.
Oh,
So we will be
okay.
implementing that a little bit. That's going to be like late this year, but next quarter or maybe early next year, but next quarter we're implementing phase 2 of our AI upgrade, which has a more complex decision tree for the AI, and it will react it will do more, it will have more reactive strategy. Right now, it just kind of follows its path based on the state of the game. The
But
next
let's
phase will be able to react.
not detract away from that. Not detract away from that, Clint, because I still team collaboration learning point of view, the platform as it is could be an awesome tool for a team to come together. And especially now, as more and more companies, mine included, are working solely remotely, to have something like this that can bring the team together to practice their methods and practice kind of or learning what each other are good at could be a good thing as well. And Archon said, put me up against them. So it sounds like we've got a challenge on there from one of your
Yeah,
co-founders.
absolutely. Hold on real quick. So the guys want to come on. That we're going to get everybody here on the chat real quick.
Hey.
The participants. I'm looking for my my add guest.
It is at the bottom. I've got a different output to you, but there should be an icon in the middle of the round buttons at the bottom.
Yes. Here we go. All right. So it looks
And
like
I see another question there while you're doing that, Clint. Renee said, how can we become one of your beta testers? And as an ex-law enforcement professional now in the cybersecurity industry, I would say he'd be a pretty good one as well.
yeah. So if you want to be a beta tester, first start out on Steam. Go get the Steam version, and in our Discord channel, which I don't know if I have it listed here. There's Josh. Hold on one
Hey,
second.
Josh.
So in our Discord channel, as well as on the oh, I'm gonna yeah, I was gonna say gotta mute Josh. So in our Discord channel, as well as in our forum discussions on Steam, you can actually you can get the link. So I'm getting distracted by all the joins. You can get the code to the beta test channel for Steam. So if you want to be a beta tester on Steam, get the Steam version, and then either in our Discord server or in the forum chat in Steam, it gives you instructions on how to sign up as a beta tester.
I
All
see
right, Larry,
another quick question. Roy's asked if there's a
Hold on, Jerry.
non-Steam version. Can you drop the link in for the non-Steam version? Oh, he's gloating. Hey, Josh. Hey, Jerry. How are you? Again.
Yep. So, all right.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, real quick, entering chat, there is a non-Steam version. That's what these guys were using today. They were using the Pro version. The Pro version is web delivered. So if you are in a professional organization or educational institute that doesn't use Steam, first of all, we don't recommend using the Steam version for professional purposes. It's got limitations. Plus, you have to have the Steam platform. If you want to use this for a professional purpose, organization, or educational institute, yes, it's web delivered, and we have the pro version. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, there was a bug that did happen, and
oh yeah,
but yeah. So I will tell you though, the bug was to your advantage, Josh. So it did not affect the outcome of the game. And so anyway, let's talk about your thoughts. I mean, we were having fun commentary here about both of you and what we were observing. At one point, it looked like that. It was funny because Josh, your pivot for more than half the game was that remote user, and Jerry was completely ignoring that remote user, like he thought that remote user was cordoned off and safe, and that was your pivot for more than half the game. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was gold. I was surprised that I kept access that long from that one link, and I kept popping around. Yeah, I would lose a pivot and gain a pivot.
I didn't have time.
It was great,
and nobody had time for that.
It was it your decision, Josh, to make it such a fast-paced game? Because at the start we were panicking about it a little bit, but it actually ended up being really, really good from a commentary point of view. And I must just clear up before you watch this back. Sorry, Jerry, but I was cheering for Josh today because I'm a bit red team. But
yeah,
so I've played this almost a dozen times now, and I've yet to win a game as the red team on it. Mostly because as you gain traction, you lose traction. It makes sense. And it's also one of those things, I just haven't developed a strategy that gets you all the way to the end that's like 100% successful. Which also, I don't know, kind of makes sense in the big scheme of things. I set it to fast pace, knowing that Jerry knows what he's doing. I've seen him play, I've seen him win on the blue team. And I figured if I threw it out there at like 30, 40 seconds, he would have to make quick decisions. And if he made quick decisions, he might make the wrong decisions.
I think,
So
I
I
think it
was
was
really hoping for.
a good shout as well, Josh. It was a good shout. And it looked like start with Jerry a little bit. I might have got wrong, but I think the bit
Yeah,
I've had
hold on.
success
My-
with on the
of
one
course, I just got a
occasion where
phone
I
call,
beat
which
the
screwed up.
AI is where I pivoted to the kind of physical attack whilst I had the other attack going on. And that wasn't through my technical genius. That was through me clicking buttons just to work out what was the best to do. But I was surprised I didn't see you dive more into the physical side, Josh. Or do you think Jerry kind of, because he knows you so well, Clinton and I was saying
That's where I was going to go. That's where I was going to go.
Yeah, the psychology of it came into play before the game had started, because Jerry kind of had, I reckon, on how you were going to approach that. Is that true, Jerry?
So I said it on stream that Josh had made a comment on Tuesdays, a live stream that I do every morning, a threat briefing. He made the comment on Tuesday or Monday, spoiler, ransomware. So I considered that threat intelligence. I said it's no different than cruising in the dark web, using a sock puppet account and finding out that, you know, healthcare is going to be targeted by Conti or something. So I said, okay, I'm focused on ransomware. I buttoned up my my ICS area a little bit, and then I basically was putting EDR in each network segment, hoping he would trip something. So that was my approach. And then once he started getting noisy in my corporate IT area, I Eye of Sauron just and pushed it right over in that direction.
Were you not concerned, Jerry, that he was going to go for more of a physical attack at any point, or did you feel with your cameras you had that covered?
Yeah. So, again, like from a GRC perspective, I know GRC gets crapped on, but listen, I did physical surveillance cameras and security awareness. Like I felt that the risk, likelihood of Josh getting on premise and not being detected within a turn or two was low. So I basically stood that up quickly as, okay, this is a taking care of that kind of attack vector. Now let me get more technical with my EDR in the different areas, network segmentation, et cetera. Kind of worried about more of the remote access perspective. And I mean, looking at how he won, or excuse me, what he accomplished at the end of the game, he did own the whole kind of remote access world. He owned endpoints. He owned the VPN concentrator. So yeah.
Well, and we said that at the beginning of the game. Sorry, I'll give you the mic here in a minute, Josh. But Simon and I commented at the very beginning of the game that we were the way that you were playing. We predicted that it looked like that you were using your game plan. You had a game plan thinking that Josh was going to go cyber and not physical, and you stuck to that. So, all right, I'll pass it back to you, Josh.
Yeah. I have the benefit of I've watched Jerry do this a few times. So I know kind of what he's thinking in a few things. So I figured he was going to stand up training and cameras fast because it takes few resources. It's fairly cheap, and it can be kind of bulletproof if the red side doesn't invest. So initially you can invest heavily. I did try to sneak in early on in the game, see if I could get access, and I got kicked out pretty quickly. It wasn't until like the third attempt that I actually got arrested. But it's difficult to make that work for you unless they're not paying attention. So if you go against a person who doesn't think to put up cameras, is like, oh, I don't need that. I need to set up the network side.
It's overpowered at that point.
Yeah, then you could sneak in. If you get enough resources, you recruit a couple more hackers and you bump up your social engineering, you get your USB and you go to town there. That could be money. That could be great. I haven't had great success myself, and I didn't think I would with Jerry. I tried it again later, and I made the most progress after I had invested in social engineering and physical attack research. It was bouncing around in the network and gaining wins and taking whatever I could win-wise. That really was my route, but it's also difficult. You want to research things that have the most bang for the buck. So if I saw a vulnerability across interfaces, across different platforms, I'd try to research that and then see where it would hit, looking at firewalls and switches to make the most of pivoting. It was also one of those things I haven't played the blue side on this one, actually.
Your dog has something to say.
Yeah. My kids are going off to swim lessons, so the dog is very loud.
I've had to be on mute the last 5 minutes because mine is screaming downstairs, Josh. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. So let me point out a couple interesting things that are happening here for chat and for the greater good here. So we talk about TTPs often, right? TTPs being like you can change the hash of a file or a piece of malware, how it executes, but you can't really change the approach that a threat actor takes because it's their style. And Josh said, we normally associate TTPs with threat actors, right? APTs. Josh said, I've seen Jerry play a few times. I know what his approach is. And that is no different. It's the first time I've ever really thought about TTPs from a defender perspective, because usually cybersecurity professionals aren't broadcasting their strategy and approach on how to defend. But it's no different. Like he took that TTP as intel on how to formulate his objective and how to execute on that objective. I thought that was really cool. The other thing, if you followed my stream today, and Josh, the bug was I couldn't deactivate IR. On turn 48 out of 75, I activated IR to clean up my SIM server. Once it was cleaned, the ability to deactivate IR was disabled, and I was basically unable to improve my cybersecurity posture after that turn. So whatever I was on turn 48 is what I was for the rest of the game. Now, fortunately, anytime you broke something, I could do IR on it because I was stuck in IR. But for those of you who are watching who don't know this, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, this is really actually realistic of real life, because I can't always get the R&D people to like patch their systems, and shadowed IT pops up all the time. And, like sometimes you've got what you've got. You've just been dropped in and they're like, we don't want you to mess with anything. Just handle it if something bad happens. So you're like, okay. So it wasn't that unrealistic from a real scenario being stuck in only doing IR.
So I do kind of wonder, because I never fully lost access. So but I guess you lost the ability to deactivate IR.
Yes.
You said?
So anytime you popped a machine, I could remediate it. And I did backups, so I could restore from backups, which is 1 turn, 1 person, $0. So that's a really great investment. I could easily clean up really quickly. In fact, that laptop that was your major foothold, the only reason I cleaned it up is because I was stuck in IR, and I was like, well, I guess this is something I can do while I'm in here.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
So, and one thing I want to point out is that, Josh, your strategy and then what led to Jerry's threat intelligence victory underscores the need to be stealthy in this game. You were going full bore and compromising things successfully, and every single time you got arrested, or the one time you got arrested and you got caught on site, and then every single time you attacked and Jerry had EDR installed or something like that, and every time he detected an attack, every time he saw a compromise, and I never saw it. I don't know, Jerry, if you were actually doing forensics, gathering forensics to contribute to that, but I mean, yeah, so that underscores the need as Red Team in this game. And if you're a real life Red Teamer, I mean, stealth is a thing.
Yeah, it's true that my bet was either that we ran out of time or Jerry would win on threat intel.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying.
I think threat intel is what I did win on ultimately.
Yeah. I was Go ahead. Sorry.
I forget. I don't remember what my desire win condition was. I think I was going to try to outlast you, but yeah. But anyways, I'll take a threat intel win. I may have outlasted you too, because we were getting pretty close to the end there. What were you going to say, Clint?
It was.
Oh, I was going to say, so as a fellow Red Teamer, I was absolutely rooting for you, Josh. But I did predict Jerry would end up winning. And if you go back to the beginning of this recorded video, we'll get to that in a minute. I was betting that Jerry was going to win, mostly due to the fact that he has more experience playing the game. I thought it was going to be your lack of experience with the game, not your lack of experience as a red teamer, or that your skills are better than Jerry, or anything like that, or his skills are better than yours. I predicted that you were going to lose mainly because you don't have as much time in game.
What I think would be a lot of fun is if we swapped it up in a few weeks, where I take the blue side, and then if you guys teamed up, where you could chat together on the red side.
I think doing team would be really awesome to where on the red team stream, it's their team talking and playing, and the blue team stream, but we still have I'd like to hear from chat, honestly.
Shoutcaster is cool, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that I tell you what, Simon and I, the fast pace that you did, Josh, really initially had us like, oh, click, click, click. But we eventually acclimated to your pace, and then outside of the bug we're trying to figure out, the game, that the shoutcasting had a nice cadence to it. It felt it was fun on our side. I would like to hear from number one. I'd like to hear from live chat here on what you thought of the shoutcast format. And number two, if you're watching this recorded, let us know in the comments what you thought of the shoutcast format here, because we're doing this for to have added value and fun. So instead of you like one of our viewers, Jess, who always puts up two screens, instead of you trying to manually watch both and hear everything like that, the shoutcast, number one, makes it more fun like esports. But number two, you're hearing from my expert commentary as a cybersecurity professional, but also by me. And Josh has to go. All right, Josh, thank you. See you. Thank you for the sticking around for the debrief. But we'll continue here. Take care, Josh.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. And also another like process improvement that I think chat would really enjoy, and that I know would be better for an overall quality production. YouTube literally just introduced a new feature last week called live redirect, but it's like Twitch raids, if you're familiar with that. But when I ended my stream, I said, hey guys, I'm going over to ThreatGEN. Come on over there now. They'd have to manually do it. You can configure it to just push them. They'll just push. Like,
nice.
You know, like YouTube says next video coming up automatically.
Yeah.
It's just like that, except it'll be this stream. So we should definitely do that if people enjoy the format.
Yeah, definitely let us know.
Can I just jump in real quickly, because I've actually got a real job.
I think we're gonna have to end this pretty soon. Yeah.
You haven't seen that because it's coming through on my stream, and I don't think that shows up for you here. But a couple of people have apologized for asking questions throughout, and I think as much as the shoutcasting was brilliant and it was fun, it was also invaluable for the people watching to be able to answer those questions. And I think it's difficult to do that when you're trying to commentate as well. So from my point of view, I like the fact that people were jumping in, engaging with it, and digging under the bonnet.
Yeah, do not apologize for asking questions.
Yeah. But anyway, look, it's been so much fun. I've got another meeting. So look, have fun, everyone. Thanks ever so much for inviting me along. It's been awesome.
Sounds good, Simon.
Yep. All right, Jerry, you going to bounce too? I think what we'll do is in future versions, we will actually, we can actually have a kind of a scripted, how we push everybody over. Let's do the debrief afterwards, and then how we in the chat and everything like that.
Absolutely. This was a good test run. And like Josh said, I'm happy to reconvene. I'm streaming every Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. with Clint, playing red versus blue in different kind of simulation formats. The heads up plays we have been doing probably like once a month. I know Josh mentioned wanting to do it a month from now. Switching roles, I'm totally cool with that. We can definitely do that. We could do more of this heads up play. I kind of like both formats because there's educational value in the playing the AI. But yeah, so let us know. Use comments, use chat, ping us on Discord, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, whatever. Just get your commentary to us so we can make this as valuable and as entertaining for you that we can, right? Like, we're literally live streaming to you. So like, if it's not good for you, then like, we don't want to do it. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this number one, it's meant, we did it this way to be fun, but it needs to be of value to you. So definitely let us know. On that note, I think we're going to call it. It's at the top of the hour. We're actually a couple minutes past. So thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope this was valuable, and I hope it was fun, and we'll see everybody next time. Take care.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.